Hi, first graders. All right, so on Monday, we practiced our steady beat with our friend. Do you remember who it was? Pete the Cat, as he sang his groovy, cool song. My buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. So, as you practiced this song, you might have noticed that some of the beats are a little bit stronger than others. In music, in our steady beats, we have some beats that are strong and some beats that are weak. Now, what does it mean to be strong? If I was like, oh, I can't even pick up this book, it's so heavy, that wouldn't be strong. No, that would be weak. Strong is forceful, is big, is loud, is confident. In music, strong beats are our biggest, loudest beats. So as we think about the button song, let's listen and try singing it. My buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Do you hear how you want to hit those first beats really hard? Listen again. My buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Every time we say buttons, it's a strong beat. So I'm going to practice tapping these buttons and singing along with my steady beat. And maybe I'll tap a little harder when it's a strong beat, okay? My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Uh-oh, I ran out. That was 8 steady beats. I'll go back to the beginning. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to color my buttons to represent strong and weak beats. We're going to show which beats are strong so that we know how to sing it well. Now in music, usually our first beat is the strongest beat. So I'm going to color our first beat in each line, the top and the bottom, my 4 groovy buttons. I'm going to color them red to represent strong. Now you're going to do a much better job coloring than me, I think. I'm going to do it quickly so that you can, so that we can finish the video and you can get to practicing on your own. Okay, so I have my 2 strong beats, so I know as I'm singing that these are strong. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. So I said these each a little bit louder when I got to them. Now let's talk about beat 2. My buttons. The second time I patted my leg, did you hear anything? Listen again. My buttons. Nothing really happens on the second beat. It's kind of between things. That makes it a weak beat. So our weak beat, I'm going to color in yellow. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Yellow for weak. All right, now let's think about the third beat. So we've got my buttons, strong first beat, nothing really happening on the second beat. So we have strong and weak. Third beat goes like this. My buttons, it's buttons again. So it must be strong. However, our third beat is always strong, but not quite as strong as beat 1. So what color is like red, but maybe not quite as strong and bright as red? I'm thinking pink. I'm gonna color beat 3 pink because it's strong, but not as strong as beat 1. So now we can see as we go, my buttons, My 4 groovy buttons. Strong, weak, strong, strong, weak, strong. So last beat, what do we think? We kind of have a pattern going. Strong, weak, strong. Maybe this one will be weak. Let's listen. My buttons, my buttons. Nothing happens on the 4th beat either. We're usually finishing the word buttons, so all you hear is the S. So that means the 4th beat is weak. So I'm going to color it in the same color as beat 2 because it's weak like beat 2. Now we can practice singing with our strong and weak beats. Remember, when we sing strong, we want to sing louder. And when we sing weak, we want to back off a little bit. Make it a little bit cooler and quieter. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. My buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Great. So this week, I want you to practice. I will send you buttons just like this on Seesaw, and I want you to color them in strong, weak, strong, but not quite as strong, and weak. Now, you don't have to use red and yellow and pink. You can use whatever color you'd like as long as you choose one color for strong, one color for weak, okay? Another thing I just want to say is that strong and weak aren't good and bad. We need both. If all the beats were strong, it would sound like this. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. And that's just yelling. That's not singing, is it? So we need strong, we need weak. Have fun coloring your buttons and record yourself singing along so that I can hear your voice. Thanks, bye.